right. A day later than I thought I was going to be. Let me get my computer plugged in here. There we go. Knocking stuff over too. Close this. All right, we are going to be wrapping up version 1.0.5 today, which is actually pretty much already wrapped up. I'm just going to kind of showcase what's going to be included. I already did a little bit of that during the last stream. Then we're going to be working on a test file for checking scores, which I'm probably going to finish tonight. May not fully finish it on stream. It'll be finished before the next version goes out, but it's not going to be something that you guys will ever see. It's purely for my purposes, other than seeing it coded right here. So the idea is that I want to, so I've got this screen built out. This is probably the best way to explain it. Well, we'll take a step back. Let's go through and show what's in 1.0.5 first. So covered in the last stream was adding new global courses, seeing whole info when you're changing scores from the leaderboard, new display name underneath the app, and then adjusting the starting holes for tournament playoffs. So all of that I covered in the last stream, and is going to be included in the next update. What I didn't cover in the last stream on course information. So we went through this, made it all look a little bit nicer. I did improve the appearance of this edit courses screen. I had some issues during the last stream of when I added an image to the background, it wasn't clipping all the way at the bottom. So I fixed that. This was a white screen. It is white currently in the version that's publicly available. Now we've got an image. And then we also I just added a background to playoffs, which just matches the tournament leaderboard. So I'll go through this real quick just to highlight it here. This is only 6 holes, so this will go quick. I'll end up adjusting my score just to make sure that I go into a playoff. We're going to have a 3-way playoff. So we'll finish round, go into a playoff, and now we have the same background on the page. This was also a white screen. So this is now a little more aesthetic looking. I don't remember if I actually showed this button in the last stream, but here's where you can change your starting hole. So it's always going to default to 1, but this is a 6-hole course. We can go 1 through 6. We can start on hole 6, hit confirm, and this information will update. So yeah, I'll go ahead and finish this playoff. So let's make sure we end it. So that's going to be the extent of what's included in 1.0.5. Not a ton, really a lot of just kind of housekeeping and quality of life improvements in this one. Still working on some of the bigger updates that will be coming out in the future. But yeah, I think that's probably the extent of it. Updated cost of collectors disc too, which I did that during the last live stream. So now we're on to this test scoring, which is a big thing I've been working on because I think it is important, especially moving forward with some of the stuff I want to do. I would have loved to have had this before I even launched the app, but since it's not something that you as a user would ever encounter in the first place, I didn't think it was overly important at the time. But yeah, so the idea is that I'm going to come in here, I'm going to select a course. So let's say I want to go to Maple Hill Gold, because that's one that everyone will know. I want to be able to select all the divisions and tiers I want to see. This is currently everything that's available in the app. Adjust some modifiers here and click generate, and then get an output down here. Let me make sure I'm showing the right thing here. Yeah. So get an output down here of basically all the information that I would want to know about how the AI is going to score during that tournament. So here, I would essentially be looking at, if I select Maple Hill Gold, I want to see how every single division and every single tier is going to score on that course. And I can set up to where I see all of the final scores after each round, or just what the winning score is for each division and tier. I think I've said it during previous streams, but just to clarify, obviously, the higher divisions will play better as in normal disc golf. And then also somewhat like normal disc golf, the higher tier that you get to, the better the AI will perform. So if you're playing in an open tournament, you're going to have a little bit better competition, a little bit more serious scoring done at an A tier as opposed to, say, a C tier. So in the app, in every single division, the AI will score a little bit better in an A tier than they will a C tier. So that's why I want to see the scores of each tier, because it does make a difference. So that's the idea. This is all somewhat built out. I was working on some of the functions today, which is what I've got going on behind me here. It is the way the scoring works in typical tournaments is it does it hole by hole. Here I'm trying to do it for a full tournament at once. So there's a little bit of growing pain there. I've got a couple errors I think I'm going to need to address. But I figured we could do that live on stream. And maybe see if we can start to get some meaningful output here. So I'm at the bottom of the output. Let's click generate, and then I'm going to get this error. And I haven't looked at this yet, so we'll be doing this live. Not an inclusive range, 751, right here. Oh, okay. Yep. So let me go up here and see how I'm passing it. So the issue is on the current hole number, because instead of passing the whole number from the tournament, I'm doing them all at once. Hole -2 is what I'm passing there. For 751 here, all par. Not an inclusive range, 0 to 17. So for whatever reason, it's passing -4. Oh, I'm already doing -2. I see what's happening. So this should actually be hole +2. I'm not fully sure here. We're just going to run it. This is either going to work or I'm going to get the same error and it's going to see I'm down still at -2, which is not going to be in that range. Let's go test it here. Oh, new error. 698. Okay, so maybe I did fix that one. 698 if all score totals player. Why is that range 0 to 4? All score totals is up here, number of players -1. Did I already subtract it? I think I did. Okay. Let's try that. These are all going to be kind of minor. I'm not going to talk through them because for as simple of issues as they are, I don't think it's worth me going in depth. But essentially, there's just some +1s, -1s that I haven't quite carried over from the previous here. I only want this to run. So this is all the code that's going to run when I hit that generate button. And I only want it to run if a course has been selected. I don't want... It's really just idiot-proofing for myself because I'm the only person that's going to use this view. That button's obviously going to be hidden when I release it for production. It's not equal to select. Then we're going to wrap it. But probably just good habits to reinforce, I think, is even idiot-proofing it for myself. Should not be an error there. There we go. Zero to 5. This is on line 700. So the same thing. Same exact line. So the range should be 0. No, it should be 0 to 5. That's correct. When I pass number of players, let's go up here, is equal to calculate number of competitors. So that should output 7 for the case that we're looking at right now. which is going to be an XC tier. So that outputs 7. 7 is what I'm passing. List filled is 6. So 0 to 5. And then player, so that is 7. So I think this should also have a -1 on it. And I might run into that issue again. Maybe there. I think this should be equal to 0. Let's assume that I'm going to have that same issue here, because I think I will. And let's restart that, try again. So just trying to get this whole function run through and output the winning score down here at the bottom. That's the goal. All right, so here it doesn't do anything, right? No, it still did something. Why did it still do something? Did I put that code underneath the if statement? I did. So it's not equal to select. What is it being set equal to? Oh, select course. I see. All right, refresh. Fix one error at a time, and we'll restart. This is generally the process for me. Maybe not the best, so now this shouldn't do anything. Thank you. And then let's go to Maple Hill Golds. Hit generate. Let's see what the next one is. 045, 718. Or at least on a new line of code, which is great. Not an inclusive range, 0 to 4. Score totals placeholder. Oh, okay. Not removing it 0. Not removing it 0. Those remove at 0 lines are included in the typical scoring just because when I'm calculating AI scores, I'm removing the player's whole score, the user's whole score, from those calculations because it's the user score, we're not changing it. But I don't need to do that here because for testing there's no user scores, I'm just, the user's a non-factor. All right, next, 726. Not an inclusive range. -1, so number of players here. Oh, player can be 0. What was I don't know what I was thinking here, but let's take that out. Okay, refresh. I think we're getting there. We're almost at the bottom of the function, so we should be close to getting an output. Or at least running through it without an error. New error 067, so we should not be getting a 7. That's on the same line item. No, this is a new line item. Yes, okay. IDs sorted, IDs placeholder. We're copying competitor IDs. Competitor IDs I'm passing. Test tournament scoring, I'm passing competitor IDs, so I must be declaring that up here somewhere. Definitely am, and then I'm not changing it. Which makes sense. I need to be changing it. So let's go to my tournament creation. The player IDs, which I'm about to go mess around with, are what I use to track the location of each player and AI when I'm doing scoring. So that if there's 2 AI, or not 2 AI, the AI won't have this issue. But if the user has the same name as one of the AI, the app doesn't struggle to distinguish between them. Competitor IDs. Where am I creating those? 0 is equal to that. Here we go, competitor IDs add I. All right, so I'm going to take this function and copy it, and then we'll do some editing. Number of rounds is equal to 0. Let's copy this, give me a space. And then here we need num_players. Holy cow, thank you. So less than num_players, I have 6 in those competitor IDs right now. Num_players is going to give me the total number of competitors. I've already subtracted 1, so I actually think I can leave that at, no, I want to leave that at 6. I is less than, so if the number of competitors is 7, it will not run. Anything more than that, it's 15, it would run to 14. Let me think about this. I only need to do it for the IDs. So I can delete all of this. Then I just need to think through what this needs to be. Update the competitor ID so I'm passing it and then tracking the scores appropriately. I is equal to 6. Typically that would include the user, and that's when it was at 7. I think 6 is the right starting number, I just can't. Well, I guess let's just do it the long way here. Let's say it's 12. So if it was 12, that would mean I want 11 players total. This will run from 6 to 11. So I would be adding 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this should be a -1. That was a little too hard. Okay. I think that should fix that problem. Now I'm adjusting the competitor IDs for each tournament. Let's take 2, or take 22 probably. Oh, did that work? Why am I not getting any output here? Oh, I didn't select a course, did I? There we go. Okay. So that was working for a bit. So division MA4, this is not what I'm looking for, but it's an output at least. All score totals. All right, so clearly not working. Not an inclusive range. Infinity. Wow. Do I not have, I don't have finale included here. That's the reasoning. All right, so let's add finale. Then we're going to come down here. I think the finale is also going to be the same as a major, so I really don't need to include it, but I will include it right now. Finale. Those are by division. Okay, that should be all I need. Let's reset that, make sure I don't get the error, and then we're going to go mess around with the outputs, because the outputs were showing all the same score totals, which is obviously not what we're looking for. Select a course. All right, still getting an error on the finale. Same error. 669. No, I don't have it for here either. That would be why. Finale. Number of competitors list. This is going to be equal to 32. Then let me go look at my tour life scoring and see if I'm actually doing the finale. Let me see how I'm doing the finale. Finale is equal to a playoff. So they're in between. That's what the additive is for a finale. I don't have playoffs included in there. That's okay. It will be close enough. Whole average, so this is going to be the finale. Okay. And then finale 32. So tier list should now be equal to 8. Let's see if that fixes the issue. Just need no more errors, and then we can start to mess with the numbers and make sure that it's calculating appropriately. Cool. Could certainly spend some time making this easier to read, but that is the right idea. FA3, FA4, MPO, -4, 0, -8. Wow. Okay. Now let's go through our calculations. So I'm going through all this. All this should work the same as typical tournaments. I get my updated score totals. Is it? Let me just see if that variable looks different. And let's actually, just for the sake of time here, to make things a little bit easier for me, give me my toggle. I'm going to come throw this above divisions, and I'm going to make it really easy for me to just uncheck everything. That's the goal. Actually, I want just one of these. Of course, right here. Let's go uncheck all set state if value and then here I essentially want, what are my two variables? Division selected and tier selected. Okay. Division selected equal to tier selected equal to. All right, this will be divisions. Where'd it go? Then give me tiers. And then we would set them all equal to false. Taking a second, but I think this will be helpful, and that way I can make it so I'll uncheck all of them and only select one tournament, one tier, just so this output is simpler. Let's do a restart. And now we should have a new button right there. I'll uncheck it and all of those should be deselected. Like that. Oh, and then actually we can do else and just make it so I won't reset it for this one, but I can just set them all equal to true. This would have been faster to do when I already had one that was all true, but let's try this real quick. And that way I can uncheck it and they'll all go back to true if I ever want that option. Oh. Okay, so unchecked all. We'll select maple whole golds, and then let's just go MPO add a B tier and generate. Plus 17, so that did not change anything. Me adjusting this variable callout. Where was it? Way down here. Score total sorted. Okay. I wonder if it's because I'm not resetting them, if that's causing an issue. Let's try this. Maybe this. Doing this deep copy just so I don't accidentally make an edit that I don't want. That's a little bit more in line with how I'm currently calculating score totals for tournaments in terms of variable usage. Let's see if that has any impact. If not, I'm going to have to start implementing some print statements throughout to see, excuse me, where it's actually calculating scores. MPO B tier. Different scores. Okay, we might have to do that for each round, for each hole. Let's start with this. And make sure that I'm actually going through the appropriate number of rounds and holes. Make sure this is working. Still can't check it. That's okay. MPO B tier, generate. Okay, rounds and holes are working. So this is iterating the correct number of times. Let's try this. This is going to be hectic to read, but I think probably important. Ooh, that was actually helpful from the AI there. Let's run that. So after each hole, I'm going to output the score totals and just see how it's developing. Hopefully that's what's about to happen. MPO B tier, generate. All right. So round one, hole one, all the scores are exactly the same. They are certainly developing. Like, it does seem like it is working in a sense. 4 over is not an unreasonable score at Maple Hole Golds for winning. But for winning MPO, go to B tier. But why are they all the same? Whole average is working. Number of players -1, lowest score. All right, let's comment that out. And then I think I'm going to take this and carry it with me. Let's go up to column scores here and print this out and see if these are all varying as they're supposed to. So this is kind of the like semi-random AI score generation. This variable that I'm about to check. So ideally I'm getting an array with different numbers. And I do know this works in actual tournaments. I have tested that pretty thoroughly. The only issue I have right now is within this test file, which doesn't affect any part of the app, solely for my purposes. But you can see here we are getting different numbers. So this works. So column scores are different. For player 0, all player hole scores is equal to column scores of the player. Plus the number of players -1. All score totals. Score totals player. All player hole scores player hole. All hole pars hold. Okay, let's go. Well, let's try it here actually. Stroke totals. So this is kind of the same thing. I'm just hoping that when I hit generate, I'm getting an array with a bunch of different values. These are all going to be a lot larger than the 3 digits or 4 digits, but I just want them all to be different. That would indicate that the calculation is working appropriately. So they're not, which on the positive means that the issue is occurring somewhere in here. So I've at least narrowed that down. I am never... All right, we've identified one issue. At the end of each round, I am not resetting the player scores. So I can do that here. I don't think there's anything else I need to reset. Score totals I don't want to reset. But I can see that clearly the issue is still existing because even during the first round, the values are the same. So we'll implement that, but that is definitely not the fix. So I'm going to just put a comment here and go bottom of issue. And we'll go top of issue. And this way we can just kind of narrow it down. Let me grab this print statement again. We'll just continue using this. Let's go just for statement by for statement, I guess. Player whole scores. It's probably going to be kind of painful. I'll make it a slightly smaller tournament just so I have less to look through. We'll go C tier. That should work. All right, Maple Hill, uncheck all, MPO, C tier. Generate. All right, let's go up here and look. Hole 1. They are all exactly the same. And I did check column scores after this, and they were column scores was right. That's what I'm assigning it to. For player equals 0, player is less than. So I guess let's go print num players. Players. And I can see the hole. Hole 1. So this should be 0. 0 is equal to column scores 0. And this should be 1. 0 is equal to column score 1. That is interesting. Seems like a strange issue. Number of players is equal to 15. So why are all the scores identical? All player whole scores. Huh. Do I need to print column scores again? Yeah, we'll try it. But I think these were all different. I'm pretty sure I already tested this. Test scores, MPO, C tier. Column scores are all different. So the column scores are all different here. And then for whatever reason here, they're all being assigned to the same shoe. Okay. Let's go on 1. Player. None players is equal to 15. I just checked that. Print column scores player is equal to column scores player. All right, let's see what that gets me. This should hopefully explicitly tell me what the issue is, or confuse me even more. One of the two. Not the shop. Test scores. In POC tier, generate. All right, hole 1. Player is equal to 0. So the column scores are all different. Column scores player is all different. But this is getting me all player whole scores. Alright, so the player is working appropriately, column scores are working appropriately. And then what was I getting here? These were all the same. Let me run this one more time just for clarity. Whole scores. I'm getting more confused. So those print statements that I just ran showed me that every time I am assigning a different value. So when I then read the variable that I'm assigning those values to, they should also be different. But I do not understand why they are all the same. I wonder why that's getting shifted up to select course. That's interesting. We'll look at that later. That's strange. Getting the course. If division selected. Oh, I didn't select a division. Okay, there we go. This was a lot. It's from what? Whole is not changing, player is changing. Is this already within a for loop that's confusing it? Only the whole one. Like the whole is, for each player, it seems to be updating all of them. Oh my gosh. All player whole scores. So we run through it once. Player is equal to 0. So all player whole scores 0. Whole number 0 is equal to column scores 0. And then all player whole scores 1, 0 should be equal to column scores 1. In my mind, this makes sense. In my mind, I cannot figure out why this isn't working. Let me go look at how I'm actually doing this in the scoring file and see if that gives me any hints, but man, I kind of doubt it. players equal to 1. Players less than players minus 1. All scores, player, whole. See what the column scores, player minus 1. Pretty wild. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Says mind-boggling. It does, I mean, it matches exactly what I'm doing in scoring, and I know that this works. Because if you play a tournament, the AI all score differently. But for whatever reason here, is it how I'm declaring them? Like, where's all player whole scores declared here? That's not declared at all. Here, it's declared up here. Is it var? Do I need to do like a set state? Is that? I mean, I don't think that would actually be any part of the issue, but we can try it. What the heck is this? This is the only thing I can think of that's different. I just don't know. Refresh, see if that makes a difference, but it shouldn't. It should not. Now it's making a difference. Seriously? No, it's not. It's not making a difference. They're still all the same. Okay. But why? Why are you the same? Like, I don't know, just to demonstrate it to myself and make sure I'm not going crazy here. Round +1. Player +1. And then show me the column scores player. We'll even throw this in to make sure that it's exactly the same. And then here, print all player whole scores player whole whole. Print it there. And then let's do the same thing. Print it here, and then we'll throw a 2 so I can distinguish between. Like, so here I'm going to print what the right side of this equation is, and then here I'm going to check the left side to hopefully watch it change. So player 1, column score is equal to 3. So we can see the column scores is different. And we can see that all player hole scores is changing. But all player scores whole has a value. What is going on? Player is increasing, and yet it is assigning here to the exact same number every time. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of this. And then we're going to do this. The only thing I can think of is that by not defining it here, I'm experiencing some issue that, because otherwise I can't explain it. Instead of predefining it, I'm just going to define it for each for loop and nowhere else, hopefully. It's doing the same thing. So how this has a dash, every single first number should always be a dash. And it's not. For player equals 0, player is less than that, which should be 14. Player increases each time. I can see here that the player is increasing. Round 1, player equals 1, player plus 1 is equal to 1. Can even just get rid of that. Column scores. Player to string is equal to a dash. Player scores is equal to that dash. And then it's equal to 7. So for whatever reason, player is incrementing, and I'm showing a new value of column scores each time. But we are always assigning column scores to the same value here. And it's the first value of every... It's only a 2D array, right? Let me see what this looks like, and then I'll take that back. Test scores. Just to reiterate, in case anyone skipped to this point, version 1.0.5 is done. What I'm doing now will not affect it. This is a testing service, essentially, for myself that I'm just trying to get to work, that I would use when implementing any additional changes into the app. So it's only a 2D array. So when player is equal to 0, it's assigning it for every single player instead of just the player it's on, which is insane. That is absolutely insane. I'm convinced at this point that there is no logical reason that this exists the way that it does. Except for maybe the way that I established this here. I bet that's it. All right, I think I've got the solution. Bear with me. I think I'm creating duplicates by creating this variable like so. So, okay, 4. So I actually need to remove 1 here. I is equal to 0. I is less than players. Let me remind myself of how I'm doing this here. Players, calculate. I'm passing it normally, so that's going to give me 7. So for I is equal to 6, I is less than num_players minus 1. All final single score equals final single total equals. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to tournament creation. So I'm trying to just essentially add a new iteration of each player's whole scores and score totals instead of what I think I'm doing currently, which is creating copies. Those will go away. I'll get over it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't like these. Okay, we'll see if it still doesn't like them after I'm done. All player whole scores dot add single score, and then all score totals add single total. We good now? And then let's do this. And then here I actually need to do the same thing. Down here when I'm resetting it, so all player whole scores is equal to this. And then we just copy this, bring it down here, and we don't do it with score totals. Okay, that should do the trick. This is going to annoy me. We'll make that a constant. That's fine. And then let's see if that does it. It's actually, I don't want to see all of these and have an idea of where the issue is occurring, and I'm going to guess that that fixed it. So let's just reset it and see if I can get the right output here. Uncheck all, golds, MPO, C tier. There we go. We got new scores. Now, why aren't they sorted? Why aren't they sorted? I fixed the duplicate issue. All score totals sorted, offsets, map, score totals, placeholder, deep copy one string, all score totals. Stroke totals. Entries, stroke totals, offsets, entries, score totals, placeholder. Do I never actually implement the offsets? No, I do. All score totals sorted is me mapping score totals placeholder. All score totals sorted, and then that's what I implement down here. Strange. Let's do one more quick test run, and let's do all of the divisions and tiers and see if those are all working, and if so, I'll get the sorting to work offline, and we'll call it good for the stream. So we'll leave all of them checked. Let's generate. All right, there we go. So now we've got all of the scores. Are they accurate? Decently. They're all, I would say, in the range of what I would typically be expecting, which is good. That's always what you're hoping for. Okay. Yeah, for the most part, those are working as I had intended to. Definitely still some editing that we'll need to do, mainly getting them sorted. But I won't do the sorting on stream. I think that's going to be a similar issue that I just ran into, and I don't want to put anyone who finds this after the fact through that. So we'll call it there. That's going to be the test feature that will only exist for me for the sake of adjusting AI performance as the app grows. But yeah, everything else I showed at the start of the video is going to be what's coming out in version 1.0.5. That's going to go in for review tomorrow. It's Monday as of the time of recording. Targeting to release that on Thursday. So yeah, it seems like people are still enjoying using Thread with Pros, which has been great. Thanks to everyone who's been sending me courses to add to the global list. That's easy for me to do. I enjoy doing it. Yeah. As always, if you have any comments or questions about the streams, continue to reach out to me after the fact or hop on live. Hit that little notification icon to know when I go live, which has been few and far between, but it has been fun having people to chat with as I'm coding. That's kind of the goal of these. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for this live stream. Thanks to anybody who finds it after the fact, and